Hi, this is Olga speaks directly from Vancouver, Canada, and in today's video I want to focus on CELPIP listening part 5, listening to a discussion. We'll go over the video, we'll watch it together, and afterwards we'll answer the questions that you'll see in the test. I will provide all of the explanations and all of the reasoning as to why we should pick option A, B, or C, or D, and hopefully will help you get ready for your CELPIP test. So let's get started right now. Listening part 5. Listening to a discussion. Instructions. You'll watch a discussion between 3 people at a cafe. They all belong to a conversation club where some members are improving their English and some are improving their French.
Well, that was a good session, eh? All 24 members present, 8 conversation groups of 3, a full house. How'd it go for you, Diane?
Our group spoke French for more than half the time. 40 minutes of French and 20 minutes of English. But, hey, I'm not complaining. I need all the French I can get.
Hey, your French is just as good as mine. Keep practicing. A few more weeks and you'll sound like Nicholas here.
Oh. And remember, it's even harder for the allophones here. I mean, they're learning a third language.
Allophones?
They're people whose first language isn't English or French. Like Marta, she's an allophone. She grew up speaking Ukrainian, then she learned English, and now she's trying to pick up French.
Marta was in my group. She's amazing. Her French is way better than mine. She said her friend wants to join.
Well, that makes 6 new members who want to join, and they're all allophones. Problem is, we can't ask people to start bringing their own chairs. Maybe we need to look at a bigger restaurant.
I think we should just limit the membership to 24. Can't we start a wait list? There's enough turnover. Colleen and Liam are going back to Germany next week.
The thing is, if you put prospective members on a wait list, they might just join a different club. I know from working at the community center, wait lists are unreliable. You can have 6 people on a wait list, but when you call them, none of them are interested anymore. So, when people ask to join, we should let them in right away. How about meeting in a separate location on different nights?
Well, if all the new members are allophones, maybe we should change the format. Right now, each conversation group has 1 native English speaker, 1 native French speaker, and 1 allophone. But maybe in the new location, it should just be for allophones.
No, we need to mix them in with native speakers, like we're doing now. The allophones kind of inspire the others by their example, and they're great translators. For the next little while, we'll just have some groups with 3 and some groups with 4 until we get more native speakers in. We'll need to find a second location for a meetup on alternate nights. Some people can meet on Tuesdays and Saturdays. The new group could meet Wednesdays and Sundays.
So let's start with the task right here. So our task is to choose the best answer to each question from the drop-down menu. And let's go to number 1. What is the main topic being discussed? So the options here are what to learn, where to meet, whether to grow, and whom to invite. So on this video, we saw 3 people who gathered together and who started a discussion on the language groups. And the main topic of their discussion was option number 3, whether to grow those groups. So that was the main point of the discussion. Option number 1 doesn't work here because they did not say anything, they did not mention anything about what to learn. They're already learning foreign languages, they are practicing foreign languages. So option number 1 is irrelevant. Option number 2, where to meet, also doesn't work. So they are already meeting at a place, at a certain place. They have this specific place, so they were not talking about that. And then option number 4, whom to invite, they already have a set of groups and specific people assigned to those groups. So option number 4 does not fit here, and the correct answer would be option number 3. The main topic being discussed was whether to grow their groups or not. So option number 3, whether to grow. Question number 2. In the discussion, what were the 3 speakers mainly doing? And the options for this question are option number 1, considering their options. Option number 2, disputing a decision. Option number 3, estimating their numbers. And option number 4, sharing encouragement. So in the discussion, the three speakers were talking about different options they had. So here the best answer is option number 1. The three speakers were considering their options. So all of them were offering their thoughts, their feedback, and what they were considering would work best. So this is the correct answer here, is option number 1. Option number 2 does not work. They were not disputing a decision. No decision has been made as of the time of the conversation. So nobody was disputing a decision. Option number 3 is the wrong answer as well. They were not estimating their numbers. They just shared the thoughts on how many people should be participating in the groups, but they were not estimating anything. And option number 4, sharing encouragement. Well, that option might have worked, but that was not the main topic of the discussion. They just mentioned that sharing encouragement could actually be something that would encourage people to continue participating in the groups, but they were not mainly discussing the topic of the encouragement. So they were mostly considering their options, which is option number 1, which is the correct answer in this case. Question number 3. Which saying would the man in the sweater probably agree with? And the options for this question are: option number 1, hold hands and stick together. Option number 2, small is beautiful, less is more. Option number 3, the more the merrier, bigger is better. And option number 4, 2's company, 3's a crowd. So here in this case, the correct answer is small is beautiful, less is more. And I will explain my choice here. So the man in the sweater mentioned that the smaller the group, the better the efficiency of this learning process. And so he was pushing towards the point of view that the smaller the groups, the better. And so the best analogy here that we could draw with the saying was that small is beautiful and less is more. This is basically what he was saying. Keep the groups small, and then the result would turn out better. Option number 1 does not work. Hold hands and stick together. He didn't mention anything about staying together, about supporting and sticking together. He just wanted to keep the groups smaller. Option number 3 is totally irrelevant here, does not work here. So the more the merrier, bigger is better. He was actually pushing more towards the smaller the group, the better. So small is beautiful, less is more. Again, this is the correct answer. And option number 4, 2 is a company and 3 is a crowd. Well, that's kind of close to the answer, but not necessarily, because he was talking about the quality. So if they kept the group smaller, the quality would be way better. So in this case, option number 2 is the correct answer, and we'll go with option number 2. Small is beautiful and less is more. Question number 4. What best describes the woman's attitude to Marta? So the woman expressed complete admiration for Marta. This is option number 1, admiration. Why is this option correct? Well, she admired that Marta was speaking Ukrainian, and then she started learning English, and now she's trying to pick up some French, and she mentioned that she's pretty good with that. So she was way better than the other students, and she was excelling in her language studies. So the options for this question is, the correct option is option number 1, admiration. So the woman was admiring her progress, admiring her knowledge. Option number 2, envy. Well, envy doesn't work here because she was not envious of Marta. She was just saying that she admired her, and in no way was she envious of her. Option number 3, gratitude. Well, she didn't actually say anything about being grateful, about saying thanks to Marta, so this option is irrelevant here. It does not work here. And then option number 4, scorn, is also irrelevant here. So the correct answer here is option number 1, admiration. She expressed that Martha was the one doing pretty good picking up the languages and having success in what she was doing. So here the correct option is admiration. Question 5. Who must be the best speaker of French? And the options for this question are: option number 1, the woman in the video; option number 2, the man wearing short sleeves; option number 3, the woman they talked about; and option number 4, the man wearing a sweater. So the correct answer here is option number 4, the man wearing a sweater. He is the best French speaker among all of them. So option number 1 doesn't work. The woman in the video, she's not the best French speaker. She actually mentioned that she has a lot to learn and she needs more practice because she isn't that good. Option number 2, the man wearing short sleeves. He's also not the best speaker of French. He mentioned that he still has some space to go and he is still working on his French. He's still practicing. Option number 3 doesn't work here either because the woman they talked about, she speaks Ukrainian, she speaks English, and now she's only learning French. So she's only picking up French, right? And she's not the best speaker yet. And then option number 4, the man who was wearing a sweater is actually the best speaker of French among the group that we watched in the video. So the correct answer here, the man wearing a sweater. Question 6. What is definitely true of the club's allophones? And the options for the answers are: option number 1, they are all trying to improve their French. Option number 2, they do not like serving as translators. Option number 3, they lose interest while on wait lists. And option number 4, they outnumber the other two groups. So the correct answer right here is option number 4, they outnumber the other two groups. So it was mentioned in the video that there are quite a lot of allophones, and the number of allophones is greater than the number of native speakers in both groups. So here the option number 4 is the correct answer. They outnumber the other two groups. Option number 1, they're all trying to improve their French, does not work here because this hasn't been mentioned in the video. Some of them are trying to improve French, some of them are trying to improve their English. So option number 1 doesn't work here. Option number 2, they do not like serving as translators. Well, this option is incorrect because it has been mentioned that the allophones are actually really good as translators. Option number 3, they lose interest while on wait lists. Well, this option is incorrect because it has been mentioned that people in general lose interest while on wait lists, So they were talking about people, just any people, any person would, after being put on the wait list, might lose the interest and might not want to join the group anymore. So the correct answer here for question number 6 is the allophones outnumber the other two groups. So option number 4 is the correct answer. Question 7. What do the woman and the man in the sweater disagree on? And the options for this question are: option number 1, allophone skill levels; option number 2, Colleen and Liam; option number 3, keeping wait lists; and option number 4, Martha's first language. So the correct answer here is the man and the woman, the man in the sweater and the woman were disagreeing on keeping wait lists. So this was the main topic of the discussion, whether they should keep the wait list, whether they should increase the groups, whether they should split the groups and make them smaller. So this was the main topic of the disagreement. Option number 1 does not fit here, so they were not discussing allophone skill levels or disagreeing about anything. Option number 2, Colleen and Liam, is irrelevant here. Nothing has been mentioned on this regard. And option number 4, Marta's first language has never been a topic of their disagreement. So the man only mentioned that Martha's first language was Ukrainian, and he was just transmitting information, just mentioning this. So the correct answer here is option number 3, keeping wait lists. Question number 8. What does the man wearing short sleeves agree to do? And the options for this question are: form a separate club for allophones. Option 2, move the whole group to a bigger restaurant. Option 3, organize everyone into groups of 4. And option 4, start additional meetups at a second location. So the correct answer here, the man wearing the short sleeves agrees, option number 4, to start additional meetups at a second location. So he actually came up with this idea that expanding the location would be the best way to go about this problem. So option number 1 doesn't work here. They were not going to form a separate club for allophones. In fact, they did not want to distinguish or differentiate allophones. The man mentioned that the allophones are actually the ones who inspire the other people in the group to learn a foreign language, and so they wanted to keep them mixed with the other people in the groups. Option number 2, move the whole group to a bigger restaurant. Well, that one is irrelevant because the man wearing the short sleeves did not agree to moving and changing the venue, the location, since they already had a set location for that. And option number 3, organizing everyone into groups of 4, that one was also irrelevant. The man in the short sleeves didn't agree to that. So the best way here for us is to pick the option number 4, starting additional meetups at a second location. That's what the man agreed to. Thank you so much for watching. I'm attaching my other lifestyle channel where I do lifestyle blogs and talk all about Vancouver and life here in Canada and lifestyle and traveling and everything else connected with immigration, with life, and with Vancouver. So subscribe to the channel. Let me know that you like the videos. Also, let me know what you'd like to see next, and have a really good one. Bye.